You know what happened yesterday, audience? Me and Nigel, we went up to the local McDonald's next to, you know, primarily where I record from. And we were eating there and we're waiting for our food, and this guy walks in and he's got this group with him. And I make this sly remark. I go, "Oh, who's this guy over here? Hugh Hefner?" Because this guy is clearly very old, but he was clearly very, he looked like he had a lot of money, which puzzled me because, you know, we're in a McDonald's. I shrugged it off. I even walked by him and grabbed a couple of straws, and I was like, "Oh, hey," and he was talking about my pants or something. I don't know. And then who was it that discovered who that man was?
It was our good friend Mackerman, uh, patron of the Creepy Peepers.
Yes, Mackerman, patron of the Creepy Peepers, was with us, and it turns out that that man standing there in line waiting for food was none other than WWE superstar Ric Flair.
Yes, it was. And for here's the thing, and I know podcast audience, you're gonna think, oh, Nigel and Dane doing their bit. No, if you are listening to this as the audio recording and not on the video, I swear, go to the video
Oh
version
yeah,
of the podcast. We'll throw up the photo. It was him.
yeah. We have photo proof. We tried to get an actual photo, proper, but someone had to go and ruin it.
Yeah.
By the way, folks, if you ever meet a celebrity, never approach them from behind.
Assassination attempt.
Exactly. I mean, come on. So, yeah, we didn't get a proper photo because, you know, that happened in our group. But it was neither of us creepy peepers because we've dealt in some celebrity business before, haven't we?
Yeah, I met Matt Smith and Karen Gillan. You met Adrian Barbeau.
That's right. That's right. And I met Linda Blair from The Exorcist and Kane Hodder and Tom Savini and all the horror gurus. Um, and we told you that story on the Creep Show episode with the onion rings. But anywho, welcome back. It's been a month, but that doesn't matter because you're listening to this probably in the future. You know,
Yeah.
cue intro.
What are we talking about today?
Well, we are going to once again stray from the horror film media and dive headfirst into a creepypasta classic. We're going to be singling on just one for today, and we'll do a three course later on. But today we'll be focusing on the creepypasta titan that is the Slender Man, and we'll be pretty much be talking about I think everything because I know how he started and I know what he became, and and we'll go through that, and we'll go down memory lane for those of you who are our age, and we'll spook the heck out of you little ones for those. By the way, am I cutting out at all?
No, this time it's not going to be I usually.
Yeah, sorry about that. Sorry about the Christmas special, guys. I know my audio seemed a bit choppy there.
Yeah, sorry about that little technical hiccup. But from the way that the stats look for that episode, you guys didn't mind. So thanks for toughing it out,
Okay,
Creepy Peepers listeners. You
thank
guys
you,
know
creepy
we're
peepers
kind
listeners.
of we're kind of pick up and play here at the Creepy Peepers podcast. We just kind of jump on, and there we are. We don't have the little Rode microphones set up, lavalier, friggin' filming, or not filming, recording from 50 feet away.
Yeah, but yeah, we're back, and I'm gonna get into the origins of Slenderman. Uh, so long time ago, there was a Photoshop contest that was held, and it was supposed to be like create a urban monster myth legend like using Photoshop sort of contest. And the winner of such contest was this guy who I don't know the name of, but he made a series of photos, and they're old black and white photos of children playing in playgrounds. And in the background, you could see a very tall, pale, featureless figure kind of either hanging out with kids or just in the background, looming and blurry or whatever. And eventually, he was given the name Slender Man because of his slender features. And then we got the creepy pasta, and we have his abilities. Once you see him, it's already too late, man. You go crazy, you go loco. And then we got the amazing, wonderful Slenderman and the Eight Pages game, one of the all-time horror video game classics. I mean, when it comes to Slenderman in the early days, it's almost like anything this particular character touched was gold, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah, because the photoshops happened and the photoshops were perfect. And then the creepypasta, I don't think I've read that particular creepypasta, but it's one of the more classic ones, so it had been a heavy hitter.
Well,
And then
I don't think he actually had his like. I'm sure he did eventually, but I don't think I don't think whatever creepypasta story was written about him, because the character wasn't written for or from a story. He was just made because they had a contest. Basically, they had a contest where they were doing like photo submissions and stuff, and they were like, "All right, here's this like creepy photo that you can put in," and then they like made this whole lore. It's like, "All right, there's this guy. It's a Slender Man." No, actually, that's the thing. They didn't even make a lore. It was just they would just put him in like the background of photos
yeah,
around like kids, and it would be really creepy because it was like 9 feet tall and he had all these extra tentacles and everything.
yeah, and then we have the game, which all of your classics got their hands on, the Markaflopters and the Jack Green Eye and the PewDiePies and they all played it and they all had a blast. And guess what, dear listeners, you can't find it anymore. But even I hopped on the bandwagon. A little late, might I add, but I did. I played. I filmed myself doing a let's play of a Slenderman game. I don't know if it was the original one or a copycat or what, but it was a Slenderman game.
You don't know if it
And
was 8 pages or not?
I don't. It may have been, but at the same time, maybe not. I'm not sure, but
I know when I was younger I played 8 pages once, and it was because my
yeah.
sister was actually like she was the big creepypasta fan in our house. And so she was all
Mm.
into the lore of like just like actually that's how I know a lot of the creepypastas I know, at least from like the classic era. Um,
Oh yeah.
but basically, uh, what happened here was that my sister brought in my mom's laptop and she's like, "All right, Nigel, come play this." And I knew it was gonna be a scary game. Like she didn't like get me. Oh, bait and switch. No, I knew it was gonna be a scary game. I just didn't know. I wasn't used to the whole jump scare thing because that was back when it was relatively new. Arguably, that was the first game that used that as the at least the first like indie game that like used that as like a main tactic that became mainstream. Um,
Right.
yeah, so I played it, and I found like 3 pages, and then the whole time, like then I was just like kind of like anticipating. I'm like, all right, because I like stopped like finding pages and stuff. I was like, all right, well, what am I gonna do now? And then yeah, I just kind of got freaked out by the guy, and then that was kind of it. But after which, I actually got really into Slender, and I found it to be one of the most entertaining, um, like games to watch people play. Like after they made Slender the Arrival, and all the like sequel games to the 8 pages, where it was
Yeah.
hospice, sanatorium, like games like those. Those I used to watch. Unfortunately, I have to name drop this guy. Not a good YouTuber now, but at the time, very good YouTuber. Very unfortunate too, especially since he was on one of my favorite childhood shows, The High Fructose Adventures of Annoying Orange.
Oh no.
It's Toby Turner.
Oh.
Toby Turner. I used to watch Toby games. Tobushkish. I used to watch him play the Slender games, and he was my childhood YouTuber. I would watch him every single like time that I would like go over my grandma's house. I'd go on her iPad and I'd watch him play like the Slender games. I'd watch him play Slender the Arrival. All the classics. Um, and that I mean that was pretty much it. I would watch that. I get scared. I'd wake up in the morning and everything would be okay. Kind of how it usually goes when you're a kid and you like see something scary. It's like, all right, usually it'll only scare you for like that same day and night, and then the next day you're kind of over it.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's always usually like with the internet terrors that that I've gone through as a youngin. It was always just there was one selected night to be like, okay, this is the night that this is the worst thing you will ever see. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, Obey the Walrus to me now is hilarious and sad, but back then, you know, no thank you.
Yeah.
But we're not talking about Obey the Walrus. We're talking about Slenderman. Of a YouTube video of me playing it used to exist, and it no longer does because I purged my own YouTube channel a few years back. Very sad stuff. Um, I really regret doing that because I was stupid and I didn't realize that there was a private button. So I just went delete, 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 delete.
Yeah.
Um,
That's fair. I've told you the story of how I lost a classic video of mine that same way with
but,
grandpa and
um,
grandson battle.
oh, yeah. Um,
Oh, dude, my Samsung storage is terrible. All right, time to play bathroom break. For those who aren't in the know, I have a video on the Just a Guy Network YouTube channel called
I
Samsung
love
Storage Problems, and it just ends with me playing a video game that has nothing to do with the original context.
it. It was the funniest thing I'd ever seen in a while. It was really great. You guys should check it out on the Just a Guy Network. Anyways, um, then nowadays we have the Slenderman movie, which I didn't see and I don't really bother to because
Actually, that genuinely, and it was so like, I don't know if I was like, because I don't think about it that much anymore. I don't know if I was traumatized or something by Slenderman, but like when I think back to it, I'm like, oh, that was just something I used to look at as a kid. Like FNAF, I still have fond memories of. I still keep up with like game theory and stuff like that. I'm excited. I'll go see the FNAF movie in theaters. When I saw that they were making a Slenderman movie, not only did because I saw the trailer when I was home alone. It like
ooh,
popped up on my YouTube like ad. It was a trailer for Slenderman, and there was no one in the room with me. And I think I was home alone when it had popped up on the TV. And the trailer doesn't even contain anything bad. Just when I found out that it was a Slenderman movie, I genuinely got so scared that in that moment it completely reignited all my fears about it.
wow,
And then I heard about the actual case with the Slenderman stabbings.
which we'll get
Then
to.
again, just completely got me. And then
Wow,
yeah, I don't and when I think about it now, I'm like, you know what? Maybe that was pretty bad because when I think about it, like I don't still like again, I keep up with FNAF. I still think that's a very entertaining franchise, very what a staple of horror games. And while Slender is a staple of horror games, it's right up there with FNAF. I had no interest and absolutely wouldn't have gone to see the Slenderman movie. I to this day haven't played any of the games, even though it's literally so much easier now because I have my own computer and everything. Um, I don't keep up with any lore updates because I don't think not only do I not think there are any, but also I just don't. But
There's a Slenderina. Did you know that?
oh yeah, well I know that because that's part of the Granny. It's
Yeah,
part of the
right.
Granny timeline.
So that I guess that means that Slenderman and Granny are the same sort of universe, apparently.
Yeah. I'll admit though, there is one thing that did get me. Um, the most recent and actually again, you know what? This might actually go to show. Basically, I was uh I was scrolling through TikTok. This was like a month ago. I was scrolling through TikTok and I saw like a video. It was like a fan video that somebody made of basically it was whoever Granny is within the Granny lore isn't the actual Granny of Slendrina. Basically, Slendrina's real Granny um got killed by what is like the in-universe Granny. Um, and then that's what kind of like puts her connection. But I remember when I saw that and I saw like Sandrina and like remembered everything, even though it was the first time in a while, like that like literally scared me so bad.
Hmm.
It scared me so bad. I'm not even like again. I'm not even like that scared of Slender. It's because it's so old. But I don't know. For some reason, I can't do it.
Yeah. Well,
Again, FNAF I find very heartfelt and very like intriguing. Not even really scary anymore. It's just
it's exciting,
yeah. It's a nice little like pilgrimage
especially with the
franchise.
FNAF movie coming.
Yeah,
Um,
100%. Again, I will absolutely be there. That is like
Me
the
too.
only movie that I'm excited to see this year. Other
Yeah.
than maybe The Whale. I'll probably see The Whale.
Ooh. Yeah, I'll tell. Yeah. Oh, I'm disgusting.
To be fair though, isn't The Whale in theaters right now?
I believe it is. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll probably go see it soon then.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I might go see it over
Um.
spring break. Actually, yeah, probably. Because I just realized, for a second, I always, I literally have never had time to see movies in the past like 3 years, so I stopped trying. Like I remember when the movie theaters first opened back up, I was like, all right, here we go. Because they were doing like a retro like film release. Because they were like, all right, we don't have any new movies to show you, so here's a bunch of old stuff. And so I started watching. I started going there on the weekends, and they do these like little like, all right, for $4 you can go see Fast Times at Ridgemont High. I'm like, all right. So I went to go see it. I went to go see like the little movies. I saw Ghostbusters, Back to the Future, um, and what was that other one? I talked about it on the podcast. Oh, Jurassic Park. And yeah, so I was watching that, but like since like summer 2020, I've had no interest.
Yeah.
And
There haven't been a lot of good movies out. Uh.
yeah,
Before in like recent like in recenter times, but not now. Really. Like get a crawl back. Um. When you go, Nigel, let me know. I'll come with.
for what? The Whale or the FNAF?
Well, both, but the whale, yeah.
All right, yeah, I'll let you know. Um,
Um,
yeah, I told you what we were actually talking about this earlier today. I was telling Dane the only movies that I was actually excited to ever go see in the theater in the past like 3 years are the only movies that I went to go see in theaters in the past 3 years. New ones at least though. It was Jackass Forever
hmm
and Clerks 3,
yeah,
and that was it. And I remember because here's the thing: Jackass Forever was the first movie that I saw that went back to the classic way of like marketing, where they would literally show you like, and I know like it's not that trailers didn't exist, but like we weren't really getting trailers. like after COVID, we weren't really getting trailers anymore because they were all like all the movies were just going to get released on direct to streaming. But Jackass Forever, they like it had Johnny Knoxville as the old man, and he's we're gonna do a little furniture shopping, and he gets blasted up into the ceiling. I'm like, dude, what is this movie? Because I'd heard of the franchise before, but I'm like, I don't know. Um, but yeah, I went to go see it in theaters, and it was the best. I still to this day, best in theater movie watching experience I'd ever had. And then Clerks 3, I'd been waiting to watch all year actually. Once I found out that they were making a Clerks 3, I was like, you know what? Let me give Clerks a try because I've been hearing about it, but I've never seen it. And so I started watching all the Kevin Smith movies, and then I finally got to see Clerks 3.
All right. So we are now going to dive into a heavy hitter. This is the heavy hitter portion because when it comes to the internet horror aspect of things, they're all just fictional monsters and freaks and ghouls and goblins, and it's all fun and make believe and story time. But unfortunately, some stupid idiot teen people decided, hey, you know what? Slenderman is real. And there were these three girls, I think, and stop me because I think you know about this case too, Nigel. So if I get something wrong, you yell at me.
Yeah, I'll probably
But
do that.
yeah, you will. um, basically, there were three girls, and they were having this.
No, you got it all wrong. It was three dudes. It was Steve-O, Johnny Knoxville, and okay, go ahead, go ahead.
No, so there's three girls, and I think they're having a sleepover. And what a night started out with like, ooh, let's play the 8 pages. And then they finished the game. She was like, wow, that was great fun. I can't believe I tried that game. And she turned around, and then there they were. And they were like, now that you've played, what can happen? Grab her. They take her out into the woods or something. And I think they try to, well, they stabbed her. This girl's still alive, luckily. But these two girls stabbed their one friend in an effort to sacrifice her to the Slender Man who lives in their woods, according to them. And it's one of those things that's like, it's like, dude, like too far. Like this came out of nowhere because you don't hear anything about this when it comes to Smile Dog or Jeff the Killer. You don't hear any real life case surrounding this stuff. But like the only thing to me that makes Slenderman creepy is the fact that this happened in real life, you know?
Yeah, that's true. Wait, did you say how many
Um,
times that she got blasted, or did you get to that part of the story yet?
no, I don't know how many times, do you know?
19 times.
Good Lord.
And she lived.
Yeah.
I don't get that. I've always wondered about that. Why is it that we can get stabbed like humans? Why is it that humans can get stabbed 19 times or like bump into a wall and die? Bob
You
Saget's
know what?
over
Yeah,
here.
you're
He
right.
got a headache and then he's dead. He's halfway through his tour. You're getting stabbed 19 times. I saw a case. This guy was gonna assault and murder this girl, and he threw her off a cliff
Good
and
Lord.
chopped off her arm, threw her off a cliff. No, sorry. I'm embarrassed. I got the story wrong again. He chopped off both of her arms, and this is a real case. You can look this up right now, listener. You can
Oh
look
my
this up
God.
right now as you're listening. He chopped off both of her arms, threw her off a cliff after assaulting her, and after screaming out for hours, she finally got somebody's attention. And then, guess what?
What?
She's alive. She just has two bionic arms.
Can you imagine like trying to get somebody's help, armless.
Exactly. You're literally unarmed.
This is too much. That's terrible, man. All right.
I mean, but am I wrong?
No, that's the messed up part. You're not wrong.
Ridiculous.
All right. Well, we'll move on from that.
Yeah.
Yeah, those two women were put in jail. Luckily, they're crazy and they're messed up, and that girl's still alive. And we have our Slenderman movie, which like it only gained attention mainstream wise, I guess, because of the real case, if that makes sense. Because,
Yeah.
like, of course, all of us nerds on the internet were like, "Oh my gosh, Slenderman is getting a movie," But I feel like everyone else was like, "Oh my gosh, like they're making a movie about those girls," which wasn't even really the case. But it's like, "Oh my gosh." And yeah, that is pretty much the saga of the Titan Slenderman. Um,
Yeah.
and I'll be honest, I've never been scared of Slenderman, not once,
You've
other than
never
like the
been?
actual jump scare itself from the game. Other than that, Slenderman is not one of those things that's like creepy looking to me.
So if you if you were like in the forest at night and you saw Slenderman, you like even if you thought it was somebody in a costume, I'd still be scared.
Oh no, no, no. No, like of course if I saw something that looked like that in the forest, oh yeah, I'd be freaking out.
Yeah.
But like how like you look at Jeff the Killer, or you look at Smile Dog or whatever else and you go, "Oh, that's creepy. That like looking at this unsettles me."
Hmm.
When I look at like any photo of Slenderman, it just doesn't do anything for me. You know what I mean? It never has.
That's fair. I mean, to be fair, if I looked at a picture of Slenderman, it's not it wouldn't not just a picture of him would get me. I need some like context. That's the thing. It's always about context for me. The
Yeah.
longer of a
Yeah,
story
that's
you
true.
make that's scary, that'll do it for me. There
Yeah,
are not a lot of things where just the visual itself will scare me.
that's true. Um, what would you say? What? How many skulls does this classic creepypasta guy get?
Oh, I forgot about the skull rating. I forgot about
I
the
know.
skull rating.
I forgot too until like halfway through recording. I was like, oh, we should probably rate the guy.
Yeah. Tell you what, I'm gonna give this a skull rating. Slender gets a skull rating because he's so near and dear to my childhood. No, you know what? Slender gets a skull rating of an 8 out of 10, which is a very
Mmm.
generous score, but I think he's earned it. He is such a staple. He's the main like creepypasta guy. It's him, Smile Dog, and Jeff the Killer. Even when they used to do the little like video game horror characters, it's always Slender, Freddy Fazbear,
Right.
because there's so
Yeah.
many Slender games, and the Slender games, I'll admit, are actually pretty fun. I'll admit they did get like the really scary concepts like with Slender the Arrival and stuff, where the game literally starts, you're like going in your house, and then like you go to sleep and you wake up, and then the girl just whispers, "He's here." And then you have to go around and like lock and shut all your windows and doors and stuff. Like that's
Good
that.
lord.
They had me with that. I'm like, okay. They FNAF forward us.
They
FNAF
did.
every FNAF game. We were like, you know what? All right, this is kind of scary, but it could never happen to us. Then the fourth one is in a house. They're like, all right, FNAF one. How scared? You're scared of Chuck E. Cheese now? I bet. Yeah. FNAF two. Scared of Chuck E. Cheese? I bet. Oh, I'm getting a little bored of this concept. All right, what if we made them intentionally scary? Uh-oh, that's getting a little good, but I don't know. Your jump scare animation looks pretty bad for Springtrap. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. All right, well, how about if they're in your home? Okay, how about that? Last game. All right, never mind. How would you like it if we build another pizzeria, but it's not a pizzeria, and you have to go through vents and stuff?
And
we're not going to go any
gonna
further
do
than that
because it'll get hard.
The only That's actually true. Yeah, I'll say this one last
Yeah.
piece, and then I'll save the rest for the actual episode where we talk about FNAF. But
Mm,
I'll just say there's only one. The only game that emitted the same level of fear that we could still get with the first four games was Help Wanted, because it's VR, and because
that's
they actually
true.
fixed FNAF 3. In FNAF 3,
That
and
is true.
I know this wasn't his fault. This was more product of the it was a product of the it was a product of the engine, the game engine that it was built on. But FNAF Help Wanted made it so that if Springtrap comes at you through a vent, then he literally comes at you. He starts crawling like he just got out of
Yeah.
a forest fire, and it's genuinely so scary. I played over at a
Yeah.
friend's house. I was done, because that's my scariest FNAF game. I know I was just dogging on it, but FNAF 3 is actually my scariest FNAF game.
Yeah. That's my favorite in terms of scares. That's like my favorite scare out of FNAF Help Wanted is looking in that vent right there, and here he comes.
Yeah,
And there's nothing you can do.
the Creepshow theme starts playing. Dun 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 dun
Oh,
dun dun.
that one. I gotta here. You know what you just sparked? You
What?
sparked an epiphany for me.
Mountain
Creep
Dew?
show? No, no, no. The creep show music, I think, would go really well with FNAF.
Hang on, let me
Cause,
think about it. Let me think about it. Like I'm
cause think
trying to,
about it.
I'm
It's
thinking of clips in
synth.
my head to like match it up with. Okay,
Yeah.
let me do um oh, I'm trying to think of like any like videos I can match it up with.
Think like.
I'll think the VHS tapes. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Think of like that music. Think of like looking down the
Oh,
FNAF 2
Springtrap
hallway.
burning.
Exactly.
Okay, yeah, you're right. Actually, to be
Yeah.
fair though, the have you heard the Five Nights at Freddy's 3 menu music?
Yes. It is really good.
Down,
Because it's an
down,
actual song
down,
too.
down.
Yeah.
It kind of
I
is. It kind of is
like
Creep
it.
Show.
Hmm. Um. But yeah, there we have it, folks, for the Slender Man. And I believe this may be the shortest episode we've ever recorded.
Yeah, we tried to stretch it out a bit with this like extra gags that we
Yeah.
thrown in.
Yeah, but a few of you listeners do tell us that it's 3 hours long. Oh my god. So we'll we and I kind of like this sort of tighter, you know, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I kind of like the shorter uh runtime.
I'll tell you what, guys. I'll make you a promise right now. If this episode becomes a hit, if you guys like the short content, because don't get me wrong, this is not worth your wait. you did not wait almost 2 months so that we could put out a 15-minute podcast. But I'll tell you this: if you guys are a fan of the shorter casts, I'll tell you this: we will upload more frequently. The only thing
That's
holding us
true.
back is how in depth we really are, and that's what I think does make it worth the wait.
Yeah.
Made you wait a month and then put out that Grinch podcast, almost 2 hours because it's a full movie review, that's worth it. Even three course, an hour podcast, that's worth it. This one's only 30 minutes, but I'll tell you what, if this one goes off, if this one's a hit, we'll give you that. We'll give you more frequent where we just talk. We'll still do the movie reviews, but we'll give you a lot more of these, and we'll stretch out this season with a lot more of
Yeah,
these just rundowns. And they don't even all have to be like these. We could just do like a rundown of like, we could just do a chat one.
exactly. I'm gonna go ahead and give Slender because I was debating on a 7 because I didn't think he was scary enough, but he's
Oh,
classic
I'm
enough
sorry.
that
I forgot. I never let you say your skull rating. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No,
Go
it's okay.
ahead.
I remembered. Um, Thank you all very much for listening. Do we know what we're talking about next time,
Next time should
or
be.
at least what we plan to talk about next time?
Next time should be our official review of John Carpenter's They Live with a
Ooh,
very special guest who will not be named until we get there.
very nice, very nice.
Yeah.
Thank you all for listening once again, and sorry about the wait. And we sign off.
This has been the Creepy Peepers, and we
Oh. Yeah. All right. I'm gonna go to bed now.
Yeah, I also will.
And I don't know. Could you hear me breathing at all during this?
No, why are you having an asthma thing?
I am. I've had an
Oh.
asthma attack this entire episode.
Could you imagine? You're like passing away towards the end of the episode. I'll be okay, you guys. Just keep sending in those donations. This has been a Just a Guy Network audio production.